Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Alright, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay, and who I have next to me, Craftmatic in the building.
What's up, family? How y'all doing tonight?
That's what I'm talking about. And then next to him, that's right, we got Macon, Georgia. That's Barbara in the building.
Barbara's in the building.
How you doing?
I mean,
Barbara?
y'all need a round of applause for Barbara in the building. Macon, Georgia, let me tell you, she holds it down to great things. And all this is brought to you by R&B Roll-Off. That's right, that small company doing big things for you. So get that trash off your property, call us. And not to mention, you might actually get me to come out there. That's right.
Oh, no.
Manage, supervise, drive, maintenance.
Right.
I try my best to do it all. Give us a call. One call, that's all. Yeah, I made it up. That's good.
Yeah, that's not like Saul, right?
I can solve your problem.
Call Saul, right? What a great show
Solve
that is.
your problem.
So welcome, folks, to Bar Talk with Jay. And I'm Craftmatic. This is Smooth Jay.
Hey.
And this is Barbara in the house. And we are here tonight to do what we believe we do best, and that is inspire through dialogue. A lot of great dialogue happens on this show, and the dialogue opens minds, it opens hearts, it gives people an opportunity to see themselves and an opportunity to make better decisions about their lives in certain situations. So we take pride in the dialogue, and some of it can be a little edgy, but we always have our hearts and minds in the right place. We always are attempting to do the right thing. You know, whether it's edgy or not, the question is can you heal from the discussion? And so we come with nothing but, you know, love in our hearts for you folks, and just hope that it makes a big difference in your life. So we didn't hear from my boy Jay. How are you doing tonight, brother Jay?
Man, let me tell you, highly blessed and favored.
Okay.
When I say that, bro, I have everything being thrown at me.
Yeah.
It seemed like I asked for a lot, and not just asking, I didn't understand what I was asking for. So now that's being revealed, because one of my biggest prayers is having understanding. The more it's being revealed, the more I am opening my eyes in a different way.
Yeah.
You gotta change your mindset
There you go.
to be delivered to where you're trying to be.
There you
And I
go.
like to say to anybody going through something and it's a dark time, it's just because you ain't finished going through it, and don't be scared.
There you go.
At that time, pick up your boots, understand it's gonna get a little bit rough, but once you get through, it's setting you up for the next one. It's a storm coming back to back to back. It's not to quit, it's to get through. And next thing you know, the heavens open up.
There you go.
And that's for you on earth. That's right now. There you have it.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I love about aging is that the storms get easier and easier to deal with, right?
Mhm.
We're never going to stop the storms. That's a part of life. There's high tide, there's low tide, and we're always going to have to deal with the change of things. But nowadays, I'm so calm in the midst of the storm. In fact, I'm not even moved by it because I know that I'm already victorious. You know, I was telling someone earlier this week, I'm already saved. We were talking about the Lord. I'm already saved from any calamity. I just have to stand the test of time and stay focused on the Word, and He'll keep my spirit strong. So, very, very key point that you made there. In fact, why don't we start off with a prayer? And does anybody like to do prayer?
Well, Barb ain't been here for every day. I see we just nominate Barb. Barb!
Barb, are you open for prayer?
Ready for prayer.
Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
prayer time. Here we go.
Once and for all, I think we all should give God. God receives the glory in everything that we do and that everything that we accomplish.
Yes.
Without Him, we will not be able to do anything. We have to have Him in our heart in order to understand, and like Jay said, go through the storms.
Yes.
We're not going to be able to accomplish anything without going through the storms. We're going to be able to survive, to live and to prosper.
Yes.
In His name, amen.
Amen.
That's it.
More confirmation about that storm. You know, there's a lot of people going through troubled times now. And I have a notion about how the world is working. It's just my observation over the last 30 years. It seems like the world is getting a little dimmer. It seems like problems can be getting heavier, or it seems like darkness is consuming our world. You know, you can see troubles all around us, right? And so there are a lot of people facing challenges and in pain, and you know, It may be about money, it may be about lost relationships, it may be about opportunities in your life. But you gotta turn to the Father's understanding, right? That's what everything really comes down to. If you live according to your own understanding, you're always gonna feel less than. But if you live according to His understanding will bring you through. He said, greater is He that is within me than he that is within the world. And, those words can really charge your spirit to drive through these obstacles that you're going through. So if you don't know the Lord, if you haven't met the Lord, if you only know the Lord a little bit, turn to Him and He'll fix and solve all your problems. That's the way I live life. Yeah, and let me tell you, it works for me. It works for me every single time. It's my foolproof way to get through life, right? I was sharing with someone the other day. I do a lot of reading, and I listen to a lot of videos and sermons, and sometimes when I read books about the law of attraction or positive thinking, etc., my mind will kind of drift away from the Lord, and He'll always bring me back. But you can't depend on the law of attraction, right? You cannot depend on anything other than the Father, because He knows the future, He knows the past, He knows the enemies, He knows the problem, He knows the answer. And if you lean on Him, that the answer shall be revealed every single time. So let's go ahead and do a real quick recap of last week's show. Very interesting dialogue. Very interesting dialogue from last week. Last week we talked about why would people assume that when a person helps with the bills or have a key to the house or help with the children, that they are a couple.
All I can say is don't give the key. Alright. it was stated through AP. If you ain't her daddy, you ain't getting the key.
Right.
Now I don't know if that worked for everybody, but she made a very hard stance there.
She did.
My whole thing is have a communication with anything that you do.
Right.
From a key to bringing them around your kid. Make sure we have a dialogue where you can hold somebody more accountable, not just assume.
Right.
Now I will say, if you start doing a lot of these things, people automatically going to assume they're in a relationship because these are relationship type things.
Right.
My whole thing is, if you're a player, you could be playing these things without having the communication, and then you can have somebody over a barrel.
Right.
You did that on purpose.
Right.
Now to me, you're not a good person, so for her to move on, she has every right.
Yeah.
Because she don't want to be fooled. She wants a real man.
Right.
Not a conceiving man to conceive you to make you believe he's Romeo and you're not.
Right.
But this is what I was taught to get through ladies. Okay, it's past that now.
Yeah, and I'm, as I've said many times before on the show, I'm an advocate for women. I'm an advocate for women's emotions. And ladies, if you are in a situation where a man is helping you with bills or has a key to the house, helping you with children, helping you with your children, don't assume anything, right? Ask the hard questions. Ask the hard questions out front. That way you won't set yourself up. And listen, just because you ask the questions and just because you don't agree with the answer, don't mean you still might not engage in the loving, right? Still might not mean, it still might not mean that you will say no to him, but your expectations will be set in a proper way, right? You'll know what to expect and what not to expect. But,
sometimes you could be doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You could help that person to help them with their children to build them up.
Right.
But still don't give a key.
Right.
I'm like,
you would have
give key to your heart. You give up a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah. And listen,
that's what you want to do.
And let me say this to the men out there, that as you date or engage with mature women, they may need help, right? You got to set the intentions. Hey, I'm going to help you. It don't mean I'm trying to marry you or nothing, but I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to support you. Our interpersonal life, our sex or our love life, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with my heart and my interest in seeing you grow and being your best. So just know that I'm just attempting to help. I'm not trying to get married or fall in love, but and really setting the mark. Right? You gotta set the mark. I think it's important for men to set the mark. That protects women's emotions. There's a lot of players out there, and playerism just doesn't work. It does not work for the long haul. I think it's short-term and temporary, and it's external. It's not internal. Guys, it's time to stand up to the plate, man. Love is waiting on you. And believe me, loving one woman is way better than loving a bunch of women, in spite of what we might think, right? If you out there in the world,
You ain't believe today, guys.
yeah, I see a little disagreement over here. It could be a lifestyle issue we talking about.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just, after the marriage,
Right.
And I've been through some things.
And see,
And I definitely feel you because I'm going to get back to being married one day.
right, one day. Okay.
Not today.
Okay.
Okay? It ain't in my cards today.
Right.
So I don't want to play. And if you're around me, I'm going to show you that I want to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm going to show you everything that I speak against. My body automatically goes that direction. That's all it knows.
Right.
Okay? But my mind is like on business. My mind is on here. I'm like, I got to focus on other things than run into a relationship because I've ran there before.
Right.
I ruined things because I ain't understand me. Shoved my butt up in it, knew what I was doing, made a muck, made a fool of myself.
Right.
Now recovered. Don't just keep doing the same stupid stuff.
There you go.
So I come up front and tell people, I'm not looking for a monogamous relationship. I'm not looking for some of the things you might be looking for. I'm a good person.
Right.
But I shouldn't have to tell you that. I shouldn't have to tell you I'm a good person. Why don't you look at my behavior?
Right.
Look at what I'm doing.
Right.
Look at that. Judge that. Quit judging the fact that I'm on the show and I tell you everything. This is a show. I'm bigger than just the show. Because if you watch everything I do, from my kids being a part of it, to the family life that I try to bring in, and then from my family loving me so much, I had a great life. And to want everybody else to experience it in the best way possible.
Right.
But quit judging. Somebody asked me, why would you give advice on a marriage and you failed yours? Because I can speak on my failures.
Right.
You still in yours and I'm happy for you, but I don't know if you're miserable or not. But at least I can speak on mine.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, we can heal. If you want to hold and play that game, like to say the Joneses, and act like you happy when you're not, keep living your miserable life.
Yeah.
That's not in my cards.
Yeah.
I live my life like my heaven. You live yours how you want.
There you go. And for those of us who have been married, I too am divorced. We got a lot to say on the subject. We know a lot about the transitions that happened, and the attitudes and the expectations, and we want to bring all of our past hurts and pains. We want to bring our experience, and we hope you don't judge us for it.
They do.
Well, a lot of times
You ever see
people
my
do,
phone?
but that's
It's
okay.
blowing up.
That's
It's blowing
okay.
up.
Somebody is going to benefit from it, right? Somebody's going to benefit. So it was a fabulous show, and there was just so much incredible dialogue. You really got to listen to it to experience all that knowledge and wisdom. And we are on bartalkwithj.com. Obviously, you can see us on Facebook and YouTube. We're on Instagram, Periscope. And I love Periscope. If you download the app of Periscope, you can listen to all of the music that goes on throughout the show. Obviously, because of a lot of rights, we're not able to play that on YouTube. But if you do go to Periscope, you'll be able to listen to the music. Sometimes you can hear some of the background talk. We like to be, we like to be talking during the middle of the
And
breaks.
don't forget Spreaker. Anybody want to go to Spreaker, you can also get it live too.
Yeah.
Spreaker/Bar Talk with Jay.
There you go.
You can get it live, you can get the past shows, and it's all audio. Just in case they don't even want to hear us, they want to ride and listen to us. All right.
There you go. So check us out, and certainly for those who are with us tonight, we appreciate you being here. Share this, like us, share us. And we just want to get a positive word out about relationships and being your greatest possibility. So let's go ahead and move into our quote for today. And Bart, would you mind reading the quote for today? And then we can put some dialogue around it.
We have to believe that God put us on this path to work along to teach us to be strong. Knowing when to walk away is wisdom. Being able to is courage. And to walk away with your head high is dignity.
See, and it is profound, because tonight what we're talking about is separating yourself from something that is just not working. Walking away sometimes can be the best thing that ever happened to you. And we're not talking about quitters, right? We're not talking about quitting. We're not talking about just giving up. We're talking about weighing all the facts, maybe praying over the subject, getting a real strong sensation, a real strong intuition that the best thing for me to do is to separate myself from this person. And so knowing when to walk away is wisdom, right? And you know, it gives you, it's courage, it takes courage to do that. But most importantly, I really like this last part here, that walking away, you gotta walk away with your head high, right? With dignity on your shoulders. And that means that you're kind of taking care of yourself, right? So you're walking away to take care of yourself. You're leaving to make sure that you protect yourself from nonsense, whether it be physical abuse or verbal abuse, or maybe it's just a relationship that's just not going anywhere. Maybe you've grown apart, you no longer like each other anymore, and I think like is more important than love. But when it's time to walk away, it's important that you walk away, and when you do, you have to realize that you're going to be alone. A lot of people don't walk away because they don't want to be alone. And we're talking about that. In fact, that is the title, kind of the title of our subject tonight. When it's time to let go of a relationship, what are the warning signs, right? What are the warning signs to walk away? Any comment on that, Jeff?
You know, I'm going to go knee deep in this bad boy, but I'm going to go back to your early one. Because when I go to this one, I'm going to go back to the quote.
Okay, yeah.
When you look at that quote, and I love that when you said you hold your head up, because you already been down.
Right.
You already looked at your situation, and a lot of times you automatically go down and up. But you got to understand that situation is to build you, not to destroy you.
Yes.
So if you keep on looking at that situation, you won't see yourself where you're going. Okay? Don't let that person run your ship ashore. Don't run it in shallow waters because you ain't looking, because you're too busy looking down at what's going on.
Right.
Analyze, look up, and change course.
There you go.
And that way you can keep sailing, then be stuck, wondering why am I not moving? It's because of what you decided to do.
Yeah.
And that's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, it is a different way of looking at it. I sometimes believe that God wants us to be alone, right? And because being alone is where you can't depend on any person, right? You kind of have to start depending on Him or depend on your own, and you'll learn soon, very soon, that depending on yourself just really doesn't get you there.
Well, secondly, to jump in on that one, it also gets you past your fear.
Yes.
Because there was a time I was scared to be alone.
Yeah.
That's why I jumped in relationship to relationship to relationship.
I was too.
I was like, being alone just don't make sense.
Listen,
you could be with somebody.
Yeah, I was married for 10 years. And for 2 years after the relationship broke up, I literally cried and wet the pillow, and I was sad and all of that other stuff. And I think part of that sadness was being alone, right? Not having a special someone, not opening up to other people. I wasn't going out, I wasn't dating. And so, being alone is not easy. I happen to have to be an only child, and I loved very hard, and so when that love was broken, it destroyed me. But when I came back, I realized that being alone was the very best thing for me, the very best thing for me.
And
So
it's kind of scary though, because when you're going through it, it's a lonely, scary feeling.
Yeah.
And I had that feeling, I know.
And I think the next segment here, we got just a couple minutes before we go to break. The next segment that Barbara set up for me, the question is, why do sometimes we have to walk alone to take the steps of faith in order to believe what God has called us to do? Why do we have to be alone? And I think oftentimes it's because we're easily influenced by the people around us, right? And when you're alone, you move to a place where I just think you just make up your mind. There's a certain level of clarity that you have when you're alone that you don't have when you're in a relationship or when you're with someone else. There's a couple of comments I wrote here. Walking alone, you got to realize that this is your journey. It is no one else's journey, and you can't pay attention to what anybody else thinks, what anybody else says. You have to be a leader in your own life. And I think the Lord will put you in a position, He'll almost force you to want to be alone, so when you're alone, He can nurture you, right? I know I went through that even in my relationship, that my wife, we were unequally yoked. I was believing in the Lord and wanted to go to church. I was even in ministry at the time. And I remember doing like 14 or 15 sermons the last year we were together, and she never heard one of them, right? So in spite of everything that we experience in life, we are always alone. Even if you're in a relationship, I think it's important to sometimes take ownership that you are alone. And that'll kind of give you some strength. That'll give you some resolve. That'll almost force you to go to the Lord. When a relationship starts going south, you realize you can't depend on your spouse or significant other anymore, right? Now you almost start leaning on the Lord. You'll start asking for help from, your God-fearing auntie or your mama. You'll start going to church. You'll want to get out of that environment. And so being alone is not a bad thing, okay? Ultimately, I think we're always alone. And of course, being alone, that means you can lean on His presence and not your own presence, right? So let's go ahead and I'm just going to share the topic. Any comments on that, Jay?
No, man, you killed that.
Yeah,
So,
okay, all right.
Nailed that.
Listen, it is time for us to go to break, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and share the topic for tonight, which I already have. But it is, when it's time to let go of a relationship, what are the warning signs? There are always signs that the relationship is about over. Right?
Jay got something for you. I got a whole lot of secrets to tell you, okay?
Yeah.
And lying is one of them. I'm just telling you, you get caught up in your lie, I'm telling you right now, you might as well hit the door, player.
Right.
I'll give you that one before the break even win. I'm just
If you
telling
get caught lying,
man, you know damn well you out the door, bro.
Yeah, I
And
like
you still lying to cover up the lie?
yeah.
Oh,
lying begets lying. That is the truth.
she might
right?
say that day. She already plotted. Hit that door, player.
There you go.
Help me out.
So you folks stay with us. I got some groove music for you tonight. Just enjoy the breaks and stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
We got a party going on tomorrow. That's right, Friday. We are kicking it at the Ice Bar in Atlanta. We want y'all to come out and have fun with us. This is the 2-year anniversary. We are partying. It happened on the 15th. All right? That's when I started this bad boy. On the 15th. Now, what I want y'all to know when the 15th is the 17th. I got the wrong day. Think about my son's birthday. It was the 17th. My man. Even I get mixed up.
Yeah.
On the 17th, we did this 2 years ago. We want to party with y'all. This is not about us getting on the mic, none of that. We gonna be up in VIP. We want to come out and meet you. We want y'all to come out and meet us. See how Craftmatic is so smooth. But y'all see why AP have a hard time with the name. Meet Bar from Macon, Georgia. She don't even leave Macon no other reason than Bar Talk with Jay. Girl ain't never left Macon till this started, right? Y'all.
Right.
Meet Barbara. And again, she does marvelous things. And again, when it's done with the photos, taking the picture, business cards, she do it all. Come on out with me. Again, my producer gonna be in the building. He don't never get on air, ever. I want y'all to come on out and be able to meet him in person. This man can make you a star.
Yes.
All right, what
yes.
he doing for me on YouTube, he can do the same thing for you. If you're a model, he'll make you a runway. Okay, you gonna run down and meet my man.
Yeah, and let's not forget the infamous Smooth Jay. You'll get a chance to meet him.
No, really? Think of me?
Yes.
Listen,
I'm gonna be drinking.
Yeah, we are only here because of Jay's vision. And let me tell you, he is just one of the most wonderful people you ever met. There's very few circles that I operate in, and it's a joy to just be around him and his family. And he's just a kind person and has a vision, a mover and a shaker. And so I'm just grateful for the show and for Jay. And so you folks come on out, meet us, shake our hands, dance with us, you know what I'm saying? Let's have a few drinks. It's going to be a great time.
And we're gonna have fun. Please come on out. Everybody asks me a time. It's like 7 and 10. The reason I say 7, because y'all ain't gonna come at 7. Y'all, I mean, why only gonna say full time? Anytime you say time, they always say.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna say 7.
7.
Then
Okay.
show up about 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Half of them be like, I got to put the keys, this bed, and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna give you a time.
Okay.
It's 7 o'clock. Now watch at 7, I'll be there. Ain't nobody gonna be.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
Hey,
all
that's
right.
right.
You know, party hours.
We'll be there.
You know, people be feeding kids and all kind of stuff at 7 o'clock. You know, but we will be there. So come out and join us, folks. And let's go in on the subject here a little bit. I think it's a subject that really I hope is going to help open some doors in people's minds. There are a lot of you folks out there who are in relationships, have been in relationships, and it's stagnant. You're stuck. You don't like being there. You know, there's no joy in the relationship anymore. And the question becomes, why are you still there? What are you doing? What are you hoping to achieve by staying there? Now, I know there is always a lot of fear when it comes time to separate from the home you know as home, right? Because that changes the money factors big time. You know, who's going to pick up the kids? Are we going to get the babysitters? Where am I going to stay? I don't have a job. I don't make money. My spouse is the income maker. So now how do, you know, and there's a lot of things that will cause you to stay there. But what we are attempting to talk about is what is leading up to, I don't know, you just know it's time to go, right? What are those signs? What are those warning signs that you might see in the midst of a relationship?
Communicating with one another.
Stop communicating with one another. Yeah, I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah, that one right there kind of hurt.
But you know, sometimes
wake up and say nothing.
sometimes you don't see it though. Sometimes it takes a while for you to see that they're just not communicating. They just closed up, right? I mean, you know, no, we're not talking about just a tiff. We're talking about, you know, over the term of 3 months or 6 months, this person begins to change and they begin to treat you differently. And you hadn't quite put it on, they're not communicating with me, but they are truly shutting down. Yeah, I mean, they may still love and protect and serve the house and all that other stuff, but they don't whisper sweet nothings in your ear no more. They don't, you know, come and kiss you on the cheek while you maybe fixing dinner, or they don't call you in the middle of the day when you're at work, or send you nice text messages. Maybe they don't send you flowers anymore. Those are methods of communication. And when they stop, that means that there is a problem, right? And so, you know, we're going to talk a little bit in the second half of the show about what you do, but a lack of communication certainly means that there is a problem headed your way. And you don't want the problem to wind up in your lap, right? You want to start dealing with it before it becomes a problem. That's how you save marriages, right? That's how you save families, is you start dealing with the issues in a way that's maybe not offensive to your partner. You start, you know, maybe planning an extra date out, trying to create some energy. You know, maybe you just do something out of the box. I think, you know, anytime you're in a stagnant place, you got to get out of your comfort zone. And you may not feel like, I'm just picturing that you may not feel like you really want to do something special for this person, but it would be an effort to try and, you know, bring some energy to the relationship. And so when you experience a lack of communication, cold shoulders, a lot of arguing, disagreeing really pulls people and pulls families apart. And as much as you may be right, you still aren't doing anything to help better the relationship. You know, that's very interesting that you could be right and still be wrong, right? It's not about being right. It's about doing what's best for the relationship. Jeffrey's big on we. It's about us. And if you just focus on, you know, only you, or even sometimes perhaps only them, you miss the mark.
I 100% agree with that one. Because again, I'm pushing my feeling I was right. And it's just a feeling. And she's trying to express her feeling.
Right.
So my win could be my loss.
Absolutely.
Because at that point she feel like you're not hearing me, you're not feeling me.
Right.
You're just being a male chauvinist. You're just pushing your way on me and I'm never going to be heard.
Right.
And that's just making a person shut down. So to you, yeah, she know I'm the man. But she's already plotting her plan B. And I won't even recognize some of the things that we do. Because these are what I call bad behaviors. Always talking about how you going to leave somebody.
Yeah.
Always talking about quitting.
Threat.
Even though
Yeah.
you ain't, but if you ever do this, oh, you know I'm out. Okay? You ain't planning for success, you planning for failure.
Right.
So you making her think about an out when it's not necessary.
Right.
But you know, my last girl did it, I wish you would. Oh, I promise you, you won't be around long. Now all this is negative.
Right.
So why bring that into a different relationship? One, why are you speaking about your past? It was for you. If she did that, why would you ever tell somebody else?
Right.
If you learn from it, it stays with you.
There you go.
And then her, I have an idea of what I went through in my mind. And I already know a tolerance level. But I don't have to speak it to you because I don't want to speak out on a negative situation.
Right.
That was a negative. This could be a positive. Because if I see these things, I can look at things in a different way.
Right.
Not as the same person. It's a different person with I want a better outcome. Pour into it in a better way, you get a better result.
Yeah.
Look at it the same, you get the same.
Yeah, and let's put a stamp on that. Threatening to quit is a no-no. Threatening with divorce, that's a no-no. You know, because if you threaten me, you put me in a position to have to make a move, right? So you're telling me it's inevitable that we're going to break up. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to tee you off. I'm not going to agree with you. And you're already thinking about leaving. Right? If you threaten to quit, you're exposing the idea that you're already thinking about leaving. You're already contemplating it. And I will have no choice but to respond. Right? I'll have no choice but to set myself up, at least, and sometimes set myself up, meaning I have to get a certain train of thought. I might need to start detaching from you because I know you might just go away any moment. You might just go away unexpectedly because of X, Y, and Z. So I need to start preparing myself, right? I just met a lady friend, and
Oh yeah?
and you know, she has a real, stop it.
I mean, this
She has
right?
you know, she's a mature woman, but she
Okay,
has
we
in her
figured that.
mind that I don't want to say she quits fast, but if she sees something that she don't like, she gone. That's how
Oh,
she
she a
describes it, right? I wouldn't say a runner. I
Oh,
think
that's a runner.
I would say decisive, right?
Decisive
Because
and running.
in this world, you're going to meet a lot of people, and you're going to start going down this pathway of liking, loving, being friends, etc. And you're going to see things that just don't fit the bill. They don't fit your what you want in your future. They don't fit what you envision in a relationship. And so her mindset is, I'm just going to shut it off. I'm not going to waste no time. I don't wasted too much time, you know, dilly-dallying with those type of environments. And so I told her, I said, well, let me just go ahead and put on my training wheels so you can't push me down, right? That if you decide to change your mind about me, I'm not going to fall, right? She already insinuated that if I do something that maybe her past, or something that's happened in the past, that she's going to quit me, she's going to leave. And so I told her today, I'm going to go ahead and put on the double training wheels. You know how the tires, they have double tires on the back of the 18-wheeler, right?
I mean, ride a tricycle.
No offense, but what I know about human behavior is, first of all human behavior is learned behavior, and past behavior equals future behavior unless people change. And people don't change more than about 15% in a lifetime. So I already know what to expect, right? I already know what may be coming, but here's what I have done. I have decided that what she was expressing to me was her sense of fear, right? And so rather than allow her fears to deter me, I'm already deciding that, hey, I'm gonna have to be stern when it comes to maybe a separation or breakup. I'm gonna have to be deliberate about trying to keep her, right? And so I'm already embracing myself for whatever may happen. I got my training wheels on so I don't get hurt. I got my resolve ready so I'll know to fight for the relationship if we agree it's worth fighting for. And that's what we should all be looking for, these innuendos in communication that help us strengthen our resolve to be there. But we oftentimes look at everything as, this thing is going to push me away, or this thing is pushing me away. Negativity will kill a relationship. And I think that's one of the big signs of a relationship. Somebody's always negative. They have no hope. They have no, they have no dialogue about what's, the possibility of future. They always seem to be putting out negative words. And people feel that. People feel like, oh, you sound like you give it up. You sound like you might not want me right now. It's important not to do that. How about cheating? Right?
Oh,
Cheating is a warning sign, right?
Look who just walked in this building. You said cheating.
Oh,
Hey, pictures
no.
in the building. Lord have mercy. She came in on the cue on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see how you talk now, player.
Yeah, people. Yeah, I wonder how many people would agree that cheating is a sign, right? That it's time
my
to
girl
go.
sit down because I know AP got something to say about that one.
Yeah.
But we're gonna hold off to the second half on that
Yeah,
one.
we know a lot of people who stay there after the cheating occurs.
Now, I would tell you, a lot of times people tell you up front, cheating is the deal breaker. And I like to say, that's you, your morals, your purpose. My whole thing is I have to evaluate it. Because it's so easy to say it's a deal breaker, but your behavior really was a deal breaker to make that person go that way.
Right.
So if you just say, that's going to make me leave, and you have bad tendencies yourself, you ain't caring, you ain't showing no concern, you ain't coming home, you ain't doing nothing, but you gonna make that threat, if you do this, I'm out. But you ain't doing nothing else. These just all false hopes.
Right.
This is what you better not do to me, but I ain't doing nothing right by you. That's why I said you gotta listen to everything, and I really ain't concerned about what people say. I gotta look at your behavior, I gotta see where you at. Because people talk a good game, and can't stand behind it. Now that's something I notice day in and day out. Good talker, ain't walk. I gotta watch your walk. Your walk tells me more than your mouth.
And be able to stand your ground.
Absolutely.
You just talking, you running them lips.
Yeah.
Sing ships. I'm just saying.
Man, that running your mouth. That's a big one. Bro. Some people just run in their mouth. It just don't make no sense. You gotta learn to just be quiet sometimes. Because every time you just talking and you run and you popping off at the mouth, you're upsetting the environment, right? And it may not be you're saying something wrong, but it still upsets the other person, and, right? And now they have, they have nothing to do but try to protect themselves from your words and to defend themselves from your words. That creates argument. That creates, a lot of calamity in a relationship. So. We're going to continue this dialogue. It is now time for another break.
Yeah, let's get that in because we gotta get AP sitting at the table for all my fans.
Yeah, we're gonna get this AP in the shop.
Holla at my girl over here.
Really interested in hearing her perspective. So you folks bear with us. We're gonna take this break. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
That person that we don't know how his day went. Now I don't know if y'all know what's coming up next, but y'all better hope he had a good day. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, what the deal is, sir?
Man, the day is how was your day. 'Cause if your day was bad, all is gonna be bad all over.
Right?
Oh man, Brother Kraft, what's going on with you, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing well, bruh. Doing well. Always looking forward to your segment. How are you this evening, bruh?
Man, it's been a long day. Long day. They tried to get me today, man. I had to persevere. I had to stand up tall and be the man that I am. And
Right.
You know what time it
Yes, sir. Here we go.
is. It is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now listen, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man. As to why you might be single, but before we get to that, here is my disclaimer. Now see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in it because you're going to learn something tonight. Now ladies, you are first. I hear this all the time. Ladies, see, you might be single because you're a good woman. That don't make you a good woman for a good man. I need you to understand me, ladies. Just because you got your own don't mean you got everything you need to be a helpmeet for that man. I need you to understand me, ladies. You got your own house. You got your own car. You got your own money, your own education. You're supposed to have that because you're grown. That doesn't make you special. That makes you an adult.
Right.
So just being, financially set and being stable and sane Those are things that you're supposed to do as a grown-up. So let's talk about how compatible you are with the good man. You might have that queen mentality, and that's all good until it's time for you to live up to queen responsibilities that a king expects. So when we got this thing going on, I call it the jester complex.
Okay.
See, the jester complex is when that woman is a queen and she wants a jester that she can call up when she wants to be entertained. And when she's had her fill, she can shoot him off. You can't do that to a king.
Right.
So ladies, I need you to understand, you might be a good woman, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're a good woman for a good man. And failure to recognize and realize that, well, it might leave your ass single.
And as we say, for a
Very long time.
Yeah, and listen, there is a difference. There is a big difference between the two. Just because you are successful in life don't mean you are successful in relationships. And something to take note of, you know? What's your comment on that, AP?
I have a different take on it, and that is that being successful in your career takes a special type of person. It typically takes a alpha type person with an alpha type personality, and that ain't for everybody. And so it takes a special kind of man to deal with and be able to be compatible with, and likewise to deal with the alpha people.
Yeah.
Here.
I see that. A very, very strong woman needs a very, very strong man. And, you know, if he's less than that, if she can't deal with that, then maybe, you know, he is not the right one. But there's probably, you know, the population there is going to be less to choose from.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm thinking so.
Why would you think that?
Well, you know, alpha males only represent 18% of the population. You know, when we talk about behavioral styles and what it takes to be successful. So you're talking about choosing Mr. Right from 18% of the population. I think it may make it a little more challenging. And at the same time, you know, the alpha male is, I think he needs something unique as well from this queen woman, and that uniqueness is going to be a woman who could be a queen. And if you're an alpha female, being a queen might be a little difficult for you because there is going to be a king standing next to your side.
Right.
You know, I'm just philosophizing right here. But
I'm sorry. So if a queen is supposed to stand next to a man who rules over countries, she's not going to be a strong and have alpha type personality traits?
No, she'll still be strong and have alpha, but you know, can she be the woman that he needs her to be?
I mean, you could ask that of any female, whether she's an alpha, a beta.
But we're talking about alphas here,
right?
You know, will she be able to be the woman that he needs her to be? And you know, maybe that's a rhetorical question.
I don't know. This sounds like it's a great debate, though. I tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking it too, but we gonna come back to that.
Oh, yeah,
that
we'll come back. That alphaness is nice, but go on, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You gotta
Keep
give
it
me for the
rolling,
men. Give me for the men.
Okay, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook, brother. You are next. Now, fellas, some of you might be single because you actually are a jester. You're trying to play like you a king. I need you to understand now, you're not even a beta male, you are a gamma male. You are pretending to be something that you're not.
Say that.
I want you to get it real. Just keep it with me now. You see, that gamma man is going to try to play that role because he's trying to get along, or trying to go along just to get along. That's what a gamma male does. So he might try to play king-like. He might try to play jester-like, whatever the role calls for, just so he can stay up under that queen. And that's going to be okay for a little while. But that queen eventually is going to get bored with you. And once she gets bored with you, she's going to summarily dismiss you. And what will happen is a king will come around and he will conquer your kingdom. It wasn't yours in the beginning.
Right.
You didn't have no vested interest in it at all. So it was a real easy kingdom to be conquered. And once that king comes along and he conquers that and takes that queen from you, well, that jester and your gamma ass is going to be sinking.
What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, I know of a lot of guys who are jesters, And, you know, they poke their chest out like they might be kings, but they still ain't landed Mrs. Right, right? So, you know, what can I say for them is that, you know, give us some insight on how to move from jester to king, Brother Jeffrey.
Oh my goodness! First thing you do is you plant your flag in your own kingdom, and you build your kingdom up. I want you to think about what a jester does. A jester just basically goes from kingdom to kingdom trying to entertain royalty. But what a king does, a king will find a plot of land and he will conquer that land and build his own place right there on that land.
Yes.
He doesn't ask, he doesn't have to entertain, he goes and gets what he wants. Now that land is just an analogy here. You are the land. You have to conquer yourself and build a kingdom from within. So once those jester-like attributes begin to fall by the wayside, you'll notice that you're not having to worry about entertaining women. No, they actually come up and they want to entertain you. They're bringing you gifts. They're bringing you types of attention that you're not used to. It's all because you elevated your status from within. And that, my brother, is how you go from being a jester to a king.
Oh yeah, that's applause right there.
Yeah,
Everybody,
that's a drop to mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that ain't helped some folks out there, I don't know what it did.
Yeah.
And if you didn't catch it, rewind it, check it out.
There you
Ink
go.
Bro.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything left to say on that subject. So,
It is, I ain't saying
so
that.
Jeffrey, keep doing what you do, man.
Bring it together, bro.
Okay, now I mentioned the queen and I mentioned the king, and I want everybody to understand something. The king and the queen are both necessary. I enjoyed the debate and the exchange that you two had. Here's the core of it, though. See, when you have the alpha male and the alpha female working in concert, what you should have is no more alpha male and no more alpha female. You have a royal court. The royal court doesn't function at the whim of the king or the queen. They both have their own roles and responsibilities, but it's all about building the kingdom. Now, or you can call it the queendom, whatever you want to call it, but they're building it together. So everything becomes minor. Every little argument is not a breakup. Every situation or upset or down part isn't the end of the world, because in the grand scheme of things, it's small. And that's where we have to get as kings and queens in our community. We may not all be descendants, direct descendants of the pharaohs and the gods and the goddesses, you know, of Kemet and Timbuktu and all of that, but we got it in our bloodline. Because we have it in our bloodline, we can tap into that.
Yes.
And when we tap into it, we begin to build ourselves up from the inside. And that builds our children up. And when our children are built up, they walk in confidence. They're not worried about what somebody else said, because they have that confidence on the inside. And it helps to ensure posterity in our community survives and thrives. So once we get to that, then it's going to be a force to be reckoned with in our community. And I'm looking forward to that developing more and more each day. And that's all I got.
Man, that is a mouthful. What? I'd really like to get your take on the subject tonight. You mind, Jay?
Man, you gotta give them the topic.
So here's the topic for tonight, Brother Jeffrey. When it's time to let go of a relationship, what are the warning signs?
What's a warning sign that it's time to let go?
Yeah, what are some warning signs? We're talking about people who might be stuck in relationships that just aren't going anywhere, or they're dealing with some major issues within the relationship, and it may be time to leave. What would you consider some of the more important warning signs?
Okay, first thing is blatant disrespect or disregard of my feelings. Like if you purposely do something that you know is going to bother me, and you show no regard for my feelings, it's time to cut your ass loose. Because if you just shown me that what I feel and what I think are of little or no value to you, that's when you start to disregard my feelings. It's time to cut your ass loose. Right. Second thing is this: if I get this feeling in the pit of my stomach, where I'm like, something just ain't sitting right, or I don't feel as passionately about you as I once did, well, that's a sign that that connection that we had is gone, and I need to quit playing around with it, not disrespect you or myself, waste your time or my time, and get out of the relationship. Because once that feeling, once that connection is gone, it's gone. You can tape it up with duct tape. And duct tape is one of the strongest things ever made. Man, I tell you, but even that ain't gonna hold it together.
Right.
So when you get that feeling in your gut, when you just don't feel it no more, you look at that person and you don't spark, you don't see the spark anymore, and you just laying in the bed next to him and you're looking at the shapes in the ceiling, remembering when.
Right.
Yeah, it's time to go ahead and get out of that relationship.
Yeah. Well put. I really like the connection is gone, and how you assessed it. That feeling like something's missing, something's not right. Yeah, in your gut, down in your center of your soul, you can feel that it's not right, and you can feel that you're no longer connected. And sometimes that feeling is telling you that, hey, this person may be cheating. Sometimes it's telling you that this person just don't care anymore. But we got to pay attention to that feeling in the center of our gut. It is absolutely never wrong. Never wrong, absolutely. And sometimes we misdiagnose it because we really don't want to hear what it's got to say.
Your gut is never wrong.
It's never wrong. That's exactly right.
Ever.
So, well, listen, man, we thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey. Any parting words for us, sir?
Oh yeah, fellas, I heard this today and I want to share with you. These are some old school methodologies and rules when it comes to being in a relationship. Rule number 1, ladies, if I give you 99% of everything you need, that 1% I can do whatever the hell I want to. And you should be okay with that. Because I'm giving you 99%. But I'm keeping 1% for myself. You should be okay with that. I need you to understand that. Here's the second rule. Fellas, I need y'all to feel me on this. Either your lady's going to experience an orgasm from your hips or from your lips. If you follow those two philosophies right there, you're going to be okay in your relationship. And that's all I got.
Jeffrey, on that note right there, please remember, Ice Bar tomorrow night, man. Come on out. We having a party. We having fun. Again, just look up the Ice Bar in Atlanta, West Fayetteville. Definitely come on out. I got a VIP session for everybody that's on my show. I definitely want everybody to meet you because everybody want to know what's going on with Jeffrey. Why does he speak this way?
Yes.
We'll come out and find out. How about you, man? Come on out tomorrow night. Drinks on me.
I'm going to have to put that on my calendar so I don't forget. My phone will give me an alarm and I can roll on too.
There you go. And listen, I have never heard from your hips or from your lips. But I like that,
Yeah,
man.
you trying to make me how to shake, rattle, and roll there.
Man, you live by that philosophy, you're going to be okay. I
Yes.
need you to understand that.
Yes.
You're going to be okay in your relationship.
Yes, sir. I plan on being okay then. Listen, Brother Jeffrey, thank you so much, man, for all that you bring to the table. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see you tomorrow night. Otherwise, we'll definitely speak with you on next week, man.
I mean, take it easy, fellas.
All right. And folks, as you can see, we are on fire once again here tonight. Great dialogue. And, again, people are experiencing a lot of troubles in relationships. We know that because 53% of all marriages are failing. And 50% of the other side that aren't divorcing are still unhappy. So we're talking about potentially 75% of married folks are unhappy. And even those folks who aren't leaving, they're staying in there, they may not be staying in there for the right reasons and ultimately damaging themselves in the process. So let's continue to talk a little bit more about this when we get back. This is Bar Talk with Jay.
Now, I don't know if y'all been hearing the show so far, but I'm telling you right now, Jeffrey did his thing as always.
Yes, he does.
That's my man.
Yeah.
Always.
Shut it down, drop the mic. That's what he do.
That's what he do.
So what we gonna do is we gonna pick it back up though.
Every week.
Because I like to say he hit on some things that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
This alpha. I think he clarified that alpha thing that y'all had that debate on. I like that. Because I really do think that it takes a strong person to win over an alpha woman anyway. Because she's strong.
Right.
So a strong man has to come to the table. That means know your worth. Don't approach and you don't even know your secret.
Right.
Please, now
Because she gonna shut it down, and that's why you would bust her, adjust her.
Right.
Because you played yourself.
Right.
So again, let's know your position before you even make that move. That's me. Just know that.
I think that's very difficult for dudes because dudes have this thing called an ego.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you.
And so, and when you're dealing with an alpha female, it's when we're like sharks when we smell blood.
No, y'all bust balloons. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta,
You know,
No, you're wrong.
you gotta know.
How you get big?
I was thinking during the break, it really is just an issue in being unequally yoked. You know, like, I mean, think about you, AP, a strong woman, right? That if a man ain't a strong man, you're unequally yoked. And you know, we can determine strength by so many things, but
Right.
it really comes down to, I think, personality and common sense. Right?
Common sense is not a flower that grows in everybody's garden.
Right.
My grandmother told me that.
Right. And an A personality woman she needs lots of personality, right? She needs lots of personality. And in some cases, what I have experienced is she may need to be brought down a little bit, right? Because sometimes the ideals are so high in their world that they lose sight of reality.
Well, you know, I think that's a presumption because my significant relationships, like the dudes that lasted, they were very stoic. They were those dudes that they didn't talk a lot, but when they did, they said things of substance and things of significance. They weren't chatterboxes.
Right.
So I think that's a perception that someone who has a larger than life personality or a strong personality would need someone who has that aggressive, and don't mistake alpha for that. Alpha can be strength leading from behind
Yeah.
as
absolutely.
well.
Great
So
point.
it's, you know,
Great point.
yeah.
Great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
AP hit you the gut.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you brought the idea of maybe it's humility, maybe it's humbleness, but you know the A personality man typically isn't going to have a whole lot to say. He's going to be very decisive about things.
Right.
He's going to be outspoken on the things. You know, he weighs his battles very well, and he says what he needs to say
Yeah, he's
based
a thinker.
on the outcome, right? And you gotta be a thinker to
You
be
gotta
with
be
a
a
strong
thinker,
woman,
right.
You absolutely have to be a thinker.
Yeah.
Because they, sometimes will take things out of text a little bit, and because they're so strong and so strong-willed, sometimes it can cause some issues. Listen, we know strong women oftentimes can be headstrong. They're not willing to listen. They don't sometimes want help. They think you're always wrong, even if you might be just trying to inspire some insight on a subject. Maybe they know less than you, but they can get pushed down by words, etc., etc. So he's got to be able to take that. He's got to be able to
That's
to
fucking
receive it.
hilarious, yo, that you use all those derogatory terms to like talk about a strong black woman when like dudes.
Well, there's nothing
y'all
derogatory about that.
Y'all have adjectives like, well, he's ambitious or he's a go-getter.
Yeah.
But like she's like all those derogatory terms that you just made. That was very interesting.
No, those weren't derogatory terms. I'm just expressing
Did you-
what I experienced.
did you hear
Listen,
anything
my
positive about it?
mother's a strong woman.
Jay, did you hear anything
My
positive?
mother,
I heard.
my mother
Hold on.
is an A-type personality.
Right, but
So
before-
I can say it.
Yeah.
I heard, and I'm going.
Jay,
I heard.
Is that, you know what I'm talking
I mean,
about.
I'm trying to give you a chance because he keeps talking.
Go ahead.
But no,
Go ahead.
we got Jamal on. Jamal finally made it.
Yeah.
I don't know what planet he came from. He flew in on Starship Enterprise. Beamed up. What's up, player?
What's happening? What's going on?
Not even much,
It's
G.
all get out. What you talking about? What's going on? The whole show. Lord have mercy.
I mean, I know we on the show. I'm trying to figure out what's the topic. What's good?
Okay, give
Hey,
me
you
time.
rocking that
You
dress
know what?
up this week, aren't you? Rocking it. I see that black and gold.
Hey, listen, we are having a discussion. Listen, your girl AP is here in the studio, looking like a dime for real, and I know you would appreciate that. But listen, we are talking about A personality women. What would you have to say
Lord.
about? What would you have to say about them?
Oh Lord. All God's creatures are amazing creatures, and
Yes.
we accept them for who they are.
Yes.
And then we have some unstable creatures. We have some unstable preachers. All right, so I mean, you got those women that are A-type personalities, and to me, those are women that walk around with a dildo strapped to them, to be honest, because they want to walk around like they got that thing between their legs that man carries. They want to walk around with that testosterone, and I don't understand it. It's just, that's not the way I was taught. I was taught that a woman supports her man. A man is the head of the household. So if the man is the head, he leads the direction. I'm not saying that you depend on women to take the role, and I'm not saying that women shouldn't be strong, because women have been strong since in the day.
Since the beginning.
But I also think that women should play their role, just like men should play their role. I don't see men in the house, just playing daddy nurse all day. That's not your role. Your role is to go out there and provide. I can't see a woman doing a hard 9 to 5 and the man just chilling. Like, I can't see that because that's not your role. So I can't tell a woman what to do. I just know that most men ain't gonna tolerate it. You can be strong all you want to, but when you come home, you do know who the man is, right? You do know. This is a double standard. I don't know if you want to call it that or just that unspoken rule, but I just feel like men is men and women is women. You play your role, and you even it out like that.
Here's the topic for tonight. Let me just get your take on this, right? So when it's time to let go of a relationship, what are some of the warning signs?
Say that again.
When it's time to let go of a relationship, what are some of the warning signs? What have you dealt with when it's time to let go? What do you see coming? What do you see happening?
When it's time to let go, text messages fall through. They don't take enough but 5-10 seconds to send a message, hey, what's going on? Hey, thinking about you, hey, whatever. The minute that the person stops responding to your text messages within an hour or 2 hours, you got a problem. Those are warning signs. If at the end of the night, you're not the last voice she hears, I guarantee you there's another dude spitting game saying, I want to be the last voice you hear.
Okay.
No, that's real talk.
Yeah, that's
real.
real.
I was taught, most women, when a guy is in the beginning dating process, he wants to hit you with the good morning, sweethearts, and the good night, beautifuls, or whatever. The minute that stops, it's because somebody else is holding his attention or somebody else is holding her attention. It doesn't just stop for no reason. You're lacking on something or somebody's providing extra or something.
Okay.
That's 100.
Huh?
That's 100. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's as 100 as it gets. So they're not communicating with you anymore. What else might you experience in
Dude, if you smash it, if you are in that wonderful activity that we love, and her hand doesn't dig into your back, she's not intimate with you. She's just getting hers.
Wait, her what?
When you're in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, and you and your woman do become intimate, there's that thing about, the simple subtleties, the breathing in the air, the sounds that they make, the way they grip you. Those little things let you know the intimacy level. When your heart is right next to hers and y'all almost got the same heartbeat. Like, those intimate details are valuable.
Yes.
So the minute that it stops happening, she's not intimate with you. She's just getting her rocks off. When he stops looking at you in the eye when y'all are supposed to be in bed, y'all not making love. He's smashing, busting his, and he going to sleep. If you want to know if your dude is really your dude, after y'all are done, does he lay in bed and cuddle with you? Or does he pull on his drawers right after and just try to dip out? These are the signs to let you know what you are to him.
Okay. Why you so quiet, Jay?
I don't know. I think I'm telling on Jay a little bit. My bad.
No. When he said put on there, he got some great points. Because again, when I'm not really the type of a person, I'm not gonna sit around. What he's saying that has some merit. Because I'm not gonna just keep laying next to a person that I know for a fact ain't the person I really need to be with. So sometimes I ask myself, why am I even doing it?
Right.
And sometimes it's just that ego. My ego pushed me to do some things that don't even make sense to me.
Right.
And I'm willing to be honest to say it. But again, these are some things that we have to look at ourselves and say, I gotta do better. Because bottom line, where I am, I'm wasting my time.
Right.
Because everybody don't have my best interest at heart.
Right.
They say it, they don't mean it. But you laying it because you heard it. But really, you knew you didn't feel it.
Right.
So again, we know when we waste time.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just play a role.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, we can grow. And that's what I love about what you want to say. Let's bring it to the table and let's talk about it. Let's not play around with it and say it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It does. But what are you willing to do after it happens? The whole thing is about you putting on your drawers again. You kind of let the ties be cut right here. You let them know. I ain't no need to cut it. I don't need to play this role further than we need it.
Right.
So it's not a wrong thing to me to get up like, because you already know how you feel. Now somebody don't understand what you're doing, that's what we doing right now. If they putting their stuff on and they're ready to go, quit trying to act like that's a relationship. Because it is what it is.
Stop
It's just
creating
bad.
fake relationships.
Yeah.
And that right there creates it.
Stop it.
Because if he gets stressed and he leaves, he's kind of showing you better than telling you.
Right.
Right.
And then you're laying there like, nah, he just left because he had to get up early in the morning. Quit making excuses when he ain't made one for you.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one of the most valuable points in the whole show, is because there should be amongst a couple, people in a relationship, there should be intimacy in the love making, right? But we all have to keep in mind intimacy starts way before the bedroom, right? It starts long before the bedroom, and if you're not experiencing intimacy with your spouse, significant other, boyfriend, whatever you might call them, that could be a sign that there's a lack of emotion there. Maybe there's a lack of love there. There's a lack of intimacy.
That was a subtle real one.
Dude, you just like matlocked that shit. That was hilarious.
He said from an inner lock to a palm.
Yeah.
Am I
That
palm
was a
reading
forensic-
or am I holding on for life?
Breakdown.
Great
Oh, like
analogy.
real talk. If you go and you send Shorty a message, she don't respond back to you. You know, the first 10 minutes, you ain't stressing it. But when 2-3 hours go by, you like, wait. I know you seen that message, right? You got the notification. Hell, I've been around you long enough to know how much you have your phone in your hand. So, what's up? You don't have her attention.
Now-
That intimacy thing is a big thing. If you really want to know, any man, any cornball out there, if God knows I'm going to lose this too much off it, but I'll say this. If you really want to know how to be intimate with your woman, and women, if you want to know how to be intimate with your man without sex, pray with them.
Okay.
Pray. It takes a real relationship to pray, not for someone, but to pray with someone.
Yes.
That's a level of humility. That's a level of surrender unto God.
Yes.
That's the level of God, I care about this person. Not love, I care about this person so much. God, you take control.
Right.
That level of intimacy is what everybody
Yeah. Yeah.
in a relationship.
And there.
And it,
Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, if you can't find that level of intimacy, pray for the person. If you can't find that level of intimacy with how you touch the person, it's the subtle thing. If you're sitting next to her, and okay, me and my girl went long time ago.
Right.
Wow,
Church.
10 years.
Long time ago, you know, back out.
Numbers on it was
When we
wrong.
be in church, I wouldn't try to do anything on PDA or nothing, but when we sit next to each other, I kind of interlock my pinky finger with hers. Put the Bible right on my lap and sit in between us, and we sharing it and we looking together.
Right.
And that'll be the intimacy in it. I don't just have to put my thing in you to make you feel me.
Right.
when you, it's not, your genitals is not the only way to make somebody feel.
Right.
I have this ego thing about me, where if I do have sex, I don't want to just have sex with you. I want to be the best person that you've ever had sex with. But the only way I know how to be the best person you've had sex with is to make you love all of my senses. Am I wearing the right cologne? Is my breath okay? That's that smell. When you look at me, I know you must be attractive. That's that. When I talk to you, do you hear my voice when I stroke you? See, my voice should be the turn on just as well. My voice is what I say that comes out of my mouth that's being thought in my head, so that when I speak, you think of me. If my voice can't turn you on, then my mental stimulation is not even a factor. And no woman that I've ever had a good relations with just had sex with you without some type of mental stimulation.
Right. Now listen, I think this conversation has been about deep, intimate, longer-term relationships. Let's go to the dating phase. Let's go to the beginning of the relationship phase. What kinds of things do you look for that are warning signs that you need to let this person go?
Do they got somebody else?
That's a good one.
Really?
Yeah, I like that.
I ain't see that one coming.
I like that. Okay.
I ain't see that one coming.
When you say got somebody else, like dating somebody else or like a significant relationship?
Okay. If I'm about to approach a female and I say, hey, sweetheart, what's going on? Before we get started, who are you talking to? You tell me you dating somebody else? Hey, well, you go ahead and date them. You want to, and if you want to hit me up, you hit me up.
Gotcha.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not investing my time, energy, or finances into somebody who's already being taken care of by another man. As far as I'm concerned, that gold digger is winning because she got a bunch of dudes lined up. And as far as I'm concerned, her cruise is for rent.
No,
it's not
so
even an option to buy. It's for rent. So
Totally.
for that reason alone, I'm not wasting my effort.
Okay.
Gotcha, I understand that.
No,
But if she just,
okay.
Wait,
pause,
It's the-
time
Hold
out.
on, Jamal.
Flag on the plate,
Uh-oh.
Damn.
Technical.
Jeez, let me get in here. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So if you approach a chick and you ask her what's your situation, blah blah, and she just says, I'm just casually dating right now. What?
You casually dating, and I ain't
Right.
I'm casually dating too.
Boom. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, that we're on the same page. Okay, go ahead.
If you casually
Carry on.
dating, I'm casually dating.
Exactly.
If you went out with me on Tuesday, I went with John on Thursday,
Right.
and Mark on Friday, guess
Boom.
what? I went out with Brittany, Tiffany, and Sarah all during the
That's
same
my
week. I might set them all free in the same day.
Good
If
stuff.
you casual, I'm casual.
Awesome.
Right.
Now, if you say to me, babe, I want my focus on you and your focus is on me, then we have a great understanding. Now I don't have no limits to what I'm willing to do for you because it's all out there on the table. I'm going to go above and beyond to get your attention.
And so, watch this. I'm attempting to get to something that I think we haven't gotten to yet. More often than not, we date people, a few people, several people, and then we pick one. What were those other people doing that we decided they weren't candidates to date? They weren't candidates for a relationship. What are we seeing in the world? What's really happening? What are the major turnoffs that say, hey, I need to let this person go? They just not going to ever get in the game. They're not going to ever be Mrs. Right. I mean, what are you seeing from the dating world, Jamal?
That's a personal, because everybody is different. So the rules that apply for me might not apply to the next cornball.
Perhaps.
That's
The
true.
rules that
That's
apply
true.
to Brittany might not apply to Tiffany.
That's
Right.
true.
When I mean, some females might be okay with a dude that smokes. Some men don't want a woman that smokes.
Okay, now we
Some
talk.
men, hey babe, you drinking in public. How would you drink? Some other dudes, it doesn't bother them.
Right.
So you got to find out what are those things that you know set you off. I tell a girl off rip all my ugly qualities. I know normally in the first 3 months you're throwing your best stuff out there. That ain't me. I'm telling you off rip. Look, I'm a hothead. I get jealous. I'm territorial. If there's ugly qualities, then that's on you. Me, I look at the upside in it because I love my Jordans. I love my Jordans. But what I say that to say is, when I put my shoes away, I put them in my closet in my bedroom. Nobody is allowed to walk into my bedroom, let alone my closet, and touch my J's. See, those are personal. Those are valued.
Right.
So can't nobody just walk into my valued place and take my valued treasure. I'm not gonna allow a random female to come in and just see my valued treasure. You stay to the living room or the couch. You don't even make it to the bedroom. And if you do make it to the bedroom, you might not even make it to the sheets. When I tell you I'm a jealous, territorial person, you find the upside in it. That means if I'm okay with anybody just putting my stuff on, or I'm okay with any dude just going after my girl, then guess what? You're not really my girl. You're somebody I'm about to make money off of. I mean, back in the day. Back in the day.
No time frame.
Oh my goodness.
No number.
Listen, you're getting to what I'm talking about. You know, smokers drinking in public. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they're selfish. Maybe they don't have a vision. Maybe they don't have a vision for their life. Maybe they don't no job.
If the person is selfish, you should probably walk away. If the person doesn't think of you at all, you should probably walk away. Like, that's just on for real. I have this tendency about me where, again, I'm not going to spend every dollar on every female because that's stupid to me. But what I will do is I will put the effort to say, she does like flowers. I might not buy you a bouquet, but what I might do is buy you a flower and bring it to you. And more as our relationship grows, that flower will become a bouquet. That bouquet will become the room of flowers. You understand?
Right.
And that's to develop. If I give you everything on the first date and take you out to the 5-star restaurant and I take you out and do all this on the first date, then what do I have to build up to? I showed you my best card that I'm willing to do for you, and you haven't done anything to earn it. Like, you ever hear a woman tell you, baby, I mean, you already did what you did with her, but she hit you with, baby, I know you did that last night, but I got something special for you. It's still the same box, but she gonna do something extra kinky tonight. Why? Because you showed her some type of attention that made her feel like, wow, he values me. Let me do something extra for him tonight.
Yeah. And I think you hit a huge nail right there, because selfishness is something that no one can ever really live with. You know, if you enter into a relationship because she's beautiful, or he's a good-looking guy, or because he makes lots of money, or whatever the case may be, if that person is selfish, it's going to do nothing but push you away over time. That means they're going to think about their needs way more than they're going to think about your needs. And a relationship is really designed where each one should be thinking about each other's needs, and each other's needs are more important than their own needs. That's what makes a relationship. And there's a lot of selfish people in the world. A lot of people who don't know what teamwork is like, and how to sacrifice, maybe how to let someone else have their goals and dreams, or have something for the evening. So we have to be aware of these behaviors that people are showing us. You know, if someone show you who they are, if every time you go out 4, 5, 6 times, and men probably know this better than women, but you go out 4, 5, 6 times and she never even offer to pay for a tip, or pay for a meal, or take us to dessert, you're probably looking at a taker. And the question is, do you want a taker in your life, right? And it's not that you want her or need her to pay for anything, or you need him or want him to pay for anything, but it's their interest in making sure that they try to find equality in the relationship. That's important.
I would agree. And then to a woman's defense on that is how you approach it. If you coming like you're a baller, and this is what you do, you also open yourself up to that. So don't expect her to ever ask for anything when you set yourself up. So watch how you approach. Because you can also put yourself in a position where you're judging her when she already judged you. And now it's that crossfire. So she ain't nothing but a gold digger. Oh no, you a baller player.
Right.
So it becomes a conflict.
Don't involve.
Right. So it's nothing positive.
I don't agree with that.
We have to come in a way that is not.
That's bullshit.
You don't come like a baller. You don't play a role like it needs to be played. Right, but you come that way. Don't come as a baller.
Thank you.
You don't come out your pocket with $1,500 and you throwing out,
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
that, yeah.
You
Thank
can't
you.
keep doing that and then expect her to want to pay you.
Yeah.
When you keep flashing.
Yeah, you
Right.
selling dreams.
Right.
Yeah,
And
selling
when you're
dreams.
doing that, you can't turn around and judge the other party
Right.
because of what you're
Absolutely
doing.
not.
These are bad habits.
That's a busted
But then you
move.
take that bad habit, you be around good people, and you hear positive influence, and you be like, she don't do that. Don't start judging her now off of your bad upbringing.
Okay.
Right.
I get
You
it.
need to
That
make
makes sense.
change, and then you can get better results.
Right.
And it probably won't be for the person that you floss to. Too late.
Right.
You
Cut
mad
time.
Cut time.
because she acting off a precedent that you set. That's just the epitome of self-sabotage.
Oh man, listen, I'm glad you said that, and that goes back to my point I made earlier. When you set a certain, everything you do from day one, you can only go up. You cannot go down.
Don't set no precedent you can't maintain.
Hey,
Don't do
Right.
you can't maintain 5-course dinners every other weekend or every weekend or whatever.
Right, Chef Ramsay.
Don't start off with it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's a
No.
great point.
It's not that she's counting your money, but now anything you do after that is, well, why are you downgrading? You went so hard in the beginning. Was it just a facade you were showing me? Was that not what you really valued in me? So why is it you took me out to steakhouse on this night, but now you're taking me out to McDonald's on this night? Were you trying to see all that stuff are factors?
Right.
That's why your first date, I think everybody should do this. Everybody. Your first date should be in the park. Not in the movie theater, not at dinner. Take it to the park. Because that's the only time you're going to be able to walk with her, talk with her, and truly look at her.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at her in the club, she's wearing heels, she's wearing makeup, and her bra is on fleek, so them girls is out. No offense, AP. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Hey, listen, I think you're right on the money, and I'm gonna need you to hold on, man. We gotta take a break. I think we're moving into our last break here, so you folks stay tuned with us. We got Jamal on the line, and we are on fire. We'll be right back.
Sports Talk with Jay, man, I tell you, my man Jamal on one tonight.
Yes.
Jeffrey versus Jamal coming in second. I tell you,
Listen, man, this is a strong team, man.
right.
It's a strong team.
But the
I
whole
really like
thing is, again, remember, tomorrow night, come on out and enjoy us. I know Jamal, you gonna fly in town tomorrow, kick it with us? Yes, no? Okay. AP is coming. She said you ain't coming.
Yeah,
That's sad.
he might
Anyway.
be gone.
He gone? Oh well.
So, yeah,
Yes,
let's
he ain't coming. Bottom line, we gonna be there. We gonna kick it with you. So please come on out. We got AP. We got my man Kraft Magic in the building. We're gonna have my girl Barbara from Macon, Georgia, hold it down. So all you Macon people, come on up for us. My man Booby behind the scenes that can make your life a dream. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Bring reality to your world. That's what he can do for you. Come on out there again. You can meet my son behind the scenes. Oh yeah, yeah. You like that? Hashtag. And then I got my son behind the scenes, Rock, holding things down behind the computer. Please come on out. We're gonna try to get Jeffrey out. We're gonna get Jamal probably won't fly in, but again, we'll get him on phone for you.
all right.
So come on out, have some fun.
And Barbara has put together a list of signs, right? Signs of letting go,
You want me to get first?
whether it's your job, relationship, or friends, right? Because
this is good.
yeah, because letting go really extends much further than relationships, right?
For sure.
So the first one is, she says, the person breaks your trust.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that one right there is a huge one.
That's
Because that's kind of like giving, and then you mess it up.
right.
It's kind of hard to revive. I can't say you can't, but I will say it's kind of hard.
It's
It's
hard.
hard. It's difficult.
Because I gave it on the trust of your word,
On the strength.
Right.
and then you came back busted.
That's what you did.
I don't know if I want to continue a busted road because it could be a continuance.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
again, I can't tell you it's just a 100% deal breaker, but it's one that's a huge red flag that's not addressed. would guarantee a short-term relationship.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to expound on this because for you folks who are listening and you're having problems in your relationship, I think one of the first questions you should ask is, do you still trust them? Do you trust this person?
Because ain't no point in arguing with somebody you don't trust. You might just walk away.
No point in listening to someone you don't trust.
What we talking about? I don't believe nothing that's coming out your mouth.
I want to agree with y'all, but it is hard though. I mean,
How is it hard?
I don't want to argue. I want to argue because my feelings are hurt. I need you to feel the same way I feel.
And what if they
You
can't?
might not care about me the same way, but I invested my time and energy in you. You need to feel this type of hurt.
Okay.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's difficult for people to understand your hurt.
Or empathize.
Yeah, because they can't see it from your perspective.
Right.
They can only see it sometimes from their perspective.
Right.
And that's where empathy comes in, the ability to be able to feel and understand other people's emotions, problems, etc. How about the person is too needy?
Oh, what? Hell yeah, that's a problem.
Person. Oh, we just don't deal with those.
Bro, that's a turn off. My whole thing is everybody goes through something. And if you need me for some things, I like a person that comes to me for more of mental than a person that's looking for a handout.
Right.
Because to me, I like it when a person is like, yo, I just need you to talk me through it as in I want to hear myself in my situation. I'm gonna get myself out. I just need to talk to somebody.
Right.
I tend a lot of my time to listen to them because at least I know they're trying to get their way out.
Right.
Compared to my car, just bro. It sure be nice if you give me some money. So wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Your car ain't got nothing to do with it. It won't. Did I drive in that car? So you been riding that raggedy car with that oil light on and that check engine light for how long? And you thought it was gonna run forever. But now, you doing bar talk with Jay. So Jay, you can help me. Listen, let me help you, all right? I'm gonna help you big time. Help you realize, save your money and fix your car. That's the best help I can ever do for you because just to look for a handout, don't set yourself up and I'm not gonna sell myself short.
Yeah, and I would describe those people as, you got some reverb here going on pretty bad here. I would describe those people as takers. There are some people who just take. They only take. They don't know how to give. They don't want to give.
If you give it, I don't got to worry about nothing else.
Right, like you keep judging the takers, but you ain't judging the givers.
Yeah.
Well, I come from a Christ mindset. Giving is what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how many cheeks you got, Christ? Like, what I'm saying is how many times you got to give to the same mofo and be like, you know what? He don't appreciate nothing. He don't reciprocate nothing.
right.
It's like
And at that
you
point,
can be Christ-like and not keep being boo-boo-boo-boo.
right. At that point, it's time to make a decision. And that's what I'm talking about. Listen, the takers that come into your life, you're going to assess, whether it be a short period of time or a long period, you're going to assess that they're takers. And once you make that assessment, that's when you're going to decide that, hey, I probably need to get rid of this person. I need to get them out of my life. They're not going to be there. But you know,
Are you gonna do it though?
yeah, are you going to do it?
I see a whole lot of people long term going down the road doing the same old thing and still complaining. Now that's what pisses me off.
Don't complain to me
Don't
about
complain
the situation.
when you know
When
this
you
is what
know.
you do.
Exactly.
Right.
My girl don't work, my girl don't do nothing.
Okay.
Last I heard, you asked her not to work.
Right.
You told her you didn't want to get no job because you'd be out there, you know, with every time to get in. So you stay at home, you do this, you do that. But then you talk about it. And then you got the nerve to talk to me, and I already heard you talk. Listen, that's foolishness.
It is.
Right.
I can't help you. You don't need help. You need a psychiatrist.
Right.
Something past
Bro.
me. What you got, bro?
I say this, if any female who's dating a dude, if the dude ever tell you stop working, I would say that is a red flag, that is a caution sign.
That's a control issue, right?
The reason I say that is because if the dude can ever tell you stop working, that's a sign that he is controlling.
Yes.
I'm not saying he is controlling, but it's a cautionary sign that, you know, this dude might be controlling. Because now if you're not working, you're dependent on him. And that's how so many women end up in abusive relationships.
Yes.
Well, now they got a kid and they're not working and he's taking care of everything and now you're his punching bag. take care of myself like that.
Yeah. Great point.
I will hope
Great
that
point.
scenario is not in anybody's life, but unfortunately, it's true.
Yeah.
So I definitely said it's something to be at the table, and I'm not going to say it's not true. It is. It's sad, but again, it's a red flag. My whole thing is quit being that person that, what you talking about, this is what I want, because you don't want to put in the work. It's easy. And everybody like it easy. Don't get me wrong. You want to offer me more money and I can do less work? Who wouldn't?
Right.
Just understand work comes with value. So if a person willing to pay you more for nothing, it's a setup. Most people of power understand that.
Right.
If you a fool to fall for it, then you the victim. Don't be mad when the tables get turned, because it's a setup. I don't like to see people get set up for an open door when you could have seen it. People have leverage. And if you use money, they can use money to leverage you.
Right.
My whole thing is self-value will bring money. I have value in me. So don't just show me something that I already know comes with something, and then you expect it not to.
Right.
That's foolish.
Right.
My whole thing is, my self-value is you paying me for my work. Now at that point, I can see the dollars, and you ain't flashing, you just paying. But when somebody flashing, it's to get your attention.
Right.
So when you show them the attention and you lower yourself, then you did it to yourself.
Right.
And that's all that's about, and that's why I'm saying game recognize game. Please recognize what goes on today, because again, it's not for me to teach you, it's for you to recognize it.
Right.
And take your time. It's real easy.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.